She was 18 years old when she said goodbye to the world. No phone, no friends, no mirrors, no freedom, just a small suitcase, a cheap cross around her neck, and a promise she believed came straight from God. Back home in Ohio, people whispered her name with pride. Such a good girl, so pure, she's doing God's work. Her parents cried when she left, but they weren't tears of fear, they were tears of honor. In their eyes, their daughter wasn't losing a life, she was gaining a holy one. And she believed that too. The convent sat far from the main road, tucked behind tall trees and iron gates that looked older than time itself. White stone walls, narrow windows, no noise except wind and church bells. The second those gates closed behind her, something in her chest tightened. She didn't know why. At first, everything felt peaceful, almost magical. The older nuns spoke softly, smiled gently, and told her she was safe now. They called her sister in training, said God had chosen her long before she even knew it. Her days started at 4:30 a.m. Prayers before sunrise. Kneeling on stone floors so cold they burned. Silence during meals. Work until her hands cracked scrubbing floors, washing laundry, cooking for dozens of sisters who barely spoke. No one complained, no one questioned, and neither did she. Whenever she felt tired, she reminded herself, pain is devotion, suffering is love. That's what they told her. The first time she cried herself to sleep, she blamed herself. The second time too. By the third time, she stopped crying at all. Silence wasn't just encouraged, was enforced. Your voice belongs to God now, they said. Obedience is holiness. Doubt is the devil. Weeks turned into months, months into years. And slowly, the cracks started showing. The smiles didn't reach the eyes. Doors were locked more often than necessary. Confessions started feeling less like forgiveness, and more like control. One night, close to midnight, she was woken up by a knock. Not a gentle one. The Mother Superior stood there, face unreadable, candle flickering in her hand. Come with me, she said. No explanation. No choice. They walked down a hallway she had never been allowed in before. The air felt heavier there, colder, the walls bare, the door at the end locked from the outside. Inside the room, the lights were dim. You are being tested, the Mother Superior told her. God tests the strongest servants the hardest. Her stomach dropped. What happened in that room was never spoken about. Not then, not for decades. But when she walked out, she wasn't the same girl who had entered. Something inside her broke quietly. After that night, the convent stopped feeling holy. Prayers felt empty. God felt distant. And fear became her constant companion. She noticed other girls changing too. Some grew quiet overnight. Some stopped eating. Some disappeared without a word. If you asked about them, you were punished. Extra prayers, fasting, isolation, curiosity leads to sin, they warned. Years passed. Her youth disappeared behind those walls. No birthdays, no mirrors, no memories outside prayer and work. She watched her reflection change in polished metal trays, lines on her face she didn't recognize. A woman aging without ever truly living. People outside still praised the convent. Still donated money. Still sent their daughters. That hurt the most. She wanted to scream, to warn them, to tell the truth. But fear held her down. Fear of hell. Fear of being called a liar. Fear that God would abandon her completely. So she stayed silent. Until silence started killing her. At 68 years old, her health failed. Weak heart. Fading eyesight. Doctors said she didn't have long. One night, lying in her narrow bed, Staring at the ceiling she had prayed under for 50 years, she realized something terrifying. If she died there, the truth would die with her. And that felt worse than hell. So she did the unthinkable. She asked to leave. The room went silent. Nuns stared at her like she had committed a crime. "You made vows," they said. "You belong to God." She whispered back, voice shaking but firm. "I belong to the truth." A week later, the iron gates opened again. This time, she walked out alone. No suitcase, no cross, just her story. Today, she sits in a small apartment, plain walls, sunlight through real windows, telling her truth for the first time. Her voice trembles, but it doesn't stop. "I didn't lose my faith," she says quietly. "I lost my silence." And for the first time in her life, she feels free.